Welcome to another edition of Inside the Humidor. I'm Josh Eagle, alongside Ed Brandyberry and Sean Williams. The unfamiliar face, the handsome guy in the middle here, bringing up the level of good looks on this show. Oh, all right, I got you.
Yeah,
Sean's
right.
the brand ambassador for Cohiba. If you haven't heard of Cohiba, I don't even know why you're tuning into this show. It's one of the most legendary cigars made, the name. You're going to hear it from Cuba. This is our, what are they going to call this? Domestic version. We got some on the table you'll see, and we'll talk about that coming up. But Sean, welcome to Pittsburgh, man.
Thank you, man. Thanks
Welcome to coming down.
Nice to have you on the show.
So how did you become brand ambassador for Cohiba?
Somebody made a really bad decision. You're somewhat familiar with my history.
Yes.
More than a brand ambassador, I'm a cigar maker. Been fortunate enough to have been in this business now for 12 years, going back to March of 2006 when I launched my very first cigar. And not long after, I actually celebrated my 10th year in the business with my 10-year anniversary cigar.
What's the name of that stick?
Well, it was called the EPM 10 year.
Yeah.
So not long after that is when some good people from General Cigar reached out to me to start some dialogue. And specifically, it was my really, really good friend who you may know, Rick Rodriguez.
Fantastic, we do. We've had Rick on the show before. Rick is, he's a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
Rick's a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. Really good guy.
Yeah.
But apparently, internally, General is looking to do, I guess, something more experiential, something more personal with the Cohiba brand, and my name came up. Lucky me.
Fantastic.
And, Rick reached out and sort of asked what I thought about Cohiba, and hey, Cohiba's a great cigar.
Absolutely.
And the next question is, what are my thoughts about being the face of Cohiba? And my question was, does Cohiba need a face? I mean, it's Cohiba.
Yeah.
So that's sort of how it started.
Good response. Yeah.
And obviously a bunch of phone calls and meetings and whatnot, and came to an agreement that worked well for both of us. And it's been an honor for me. It continues to be an honor for me. I love it. Obviously hold the brand in very, very high esteem. And hopefully, I'm doing it some justice. I mean, it's certainly bigger than anything I could have imagined in this business. So I'm really enjoying it. It's an honor.
You know, I've noticed lately in the last few years what General has been doing with their brands, bringing in ambassadors, and actually making each individual brand unique and standalone from its portfolio, and trying to say, hey, this cigar is different. We don't just have a bunch of names on cigars. We actually focus on each one of our brands individually, and I think that's a huge advantage over some of the other larger companies that kind of just throw them all into one portfolio, and I have some stuff here and some stuff there, and we're doing this event, but they focus in general on a specific cigar over and over again.
I mean, and this is a personal business. I mean, and I was a boutique guy. Still am a boutique guy. I mean, at my essence, at my heart. So I get it. I mean, it's whatever the brand is, it's great if there's somebody that can really, really get into the intricacies of what makes it special. And as great as Mark is, as your rep here, I mean, he has a pretty big portfolio with General. So it's great to sort of have somebody who really understands what's the thought process behind Blue as far as the development of it. What makes Cohiba Nicaragua special, being the only Cohiba made in Nicaragua, a true puro wrapper binder and filler Nicaraguan. And, what's special in the red dot? Like, what have you told us that I really like and why? And really sort of get into the nuance and really sort of intricate profiles of the blends. I mean, that alone makes a big difference.
Do you have any involvement as the ambassador in the blend selection itself, or when you're coming out with some of the new stuff like Blue?
Obviously, what you're seeing here, exactly. So I came on right after Blue. What you see here, I had no hand in, but yes, I guess to your question, we'll have 2 releases coming out here very, very soon. Maybe within the next month or so, we'll have Silencio, which is actually my signature blend from Cohiba, and it's going to be an event-only exclusive, at least initially, which I really like because it gives you guys something special when you do an event. You can only get it if you actually show up to the event and support you at the event and meet me. So that's great. We also have Cohiba Spectre, which is going to be our ultra premium offering that's going to come out, and a great cigar. It has Piloto Cubano from 1995, 5-year age Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper, and it's going to be ultra premium, price point wise, but it's different in that most of the cigars that really get into that stratosphere are on the milder side, sort of more nuanced. This is going to be more of a full bodied.
Okay.
It's for a cigar smoker. This is going to be something you're going to want to put away because it's not going to be cheap.
Yeah.
But when you light it up, it's going to stand up. It's a nice stout, round, leathery, deep cocoa. It's a great
That's
cigar.
definitely rare when you get into that 30+ range. I'm not sure what the MSRP is going to be, but exactly what you're saying. You're going to get medium
little bit
and
more
best.
than that, but
All right,
we'll
that's
talk
okay.
about that later. Yeah.
All right, that's all right.
Yeah.
All right.
But
No,
again,
that's all right.
in that space, there's nothing that competes against it. It's
Okay.
not,
You're sitting in the home of the $30 cigar night.
Hey,
We have an annual
Well,
$30 cigar night where
I haven't been here yet, and,
Yeah.
and this table should be full of Macazars, right?
Yeah.
Right?
It's only one night a year. It's the only
Okay,
time we
well.
sell them, so come on.
well.
Hey, we got one night's better than no night. Right?
You
Come
talk
on,
to
give
my
me a break.
guy, and and that make that my night. I want to be here.
Yeah.
And you're gonna, these guys, you see this, right? You all see this? I'm the guest. He's drinking.
offered.
He's drinking Eagle Rare. He's drinking Monkey Shoulder.
Pirate's glass of water.
Drinking water.
Let's see how he does first.
Cheers.
You know what I mean? We gotta.
Didn't we offer you any?
No.
I did. He
Oh.
must not have heard me. It was on
Did
his
you?
phone.
I'm sorry.
Looking at pictures of burgers.
No, man. I got the Burgatory
He's
shake, man.
He's
That's
placing his bet.
I can't
his bet in
hear
on-
straight. I got the burger and the shake working in.
You
He
want
was
rock?
putting his
No.
Rocks
Actually, I'm good. I'm good. I'm
You're
just
having
poking
some
fun.
now.
I thought maybe he was putting his bet
Well,
in
if you're
on
gonna
the
if you're gonna
NBA.
twist my arm,
twist the arm.
that Eagle Rare won't be. Is that Blanton's? That's not
That's
Blanton's.
That's Zayas on the side.
Yeah, I'll take.
To the live studio audience, can I get a little bit of Eagle Rare? You want rocks?
Neat.
Neat, please. Can I get a little Eagle Rare in a glass? From the live studio audience here at.
We said it wasn't a script, right?
It's not a script. We do whatever we want.
Yeah.
It airs after 10.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I haven't cursed yet. We're
No, you
Twice a
can't.
week.
We had Ricky on the show. You think?
Well, I don't know
You think you make it a half hour
I don't know
cursing?
about cursing, but you
He-
probably
well, he
heard bro
never-
like 75
Oh, we
times.
heard some bros.
Bro,
Oh, he
and
cursed.
we heard,
Bunch of times.
some things
Thank
that
you.
he had to
Thank
go beep,
This is a nice
beep,
pour.
beep, beep,
All right.
beep, beep.
Now we're set
Oh,
up.
okay. Cheers
So he's
Cheers. To Cohiba.
Take a heap.
to Cohiba.
All right. So moving on, let's talk a little bit about
Take
the
that,
early
Fidel.
days, man. Talk about your brand.
Well, my brand is Cohiba, but
I like it. I like it.
Cohiba's my brand. No, so
Are you
in-
gonna
in-
pass on
in-
to
So you
El
passed on the
Primo
company, or
Mundo?
how'd you do it?
in all seriousness, yeah, I mean, I'm here because, I'm a cigar guy. So,
Right.
El Primo Mundo has been a terrific journey for me. I still own the company. Cigars are still available. So I'm really proud of that. I mean,
And you should be, and that shouldn't have anything to do with
yeah,
this, really.
Yeah.
Because
So
I think the one
Yeah.
you
You
can
know,
do, you
I-
can do both in this industry and really get behind both. You can do it.
Well, I don't know about that. I
Well,
mean, no. I mean,
I know what you're saying.
in all seriousness. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
But listen, so I mean, I built a brand. I had some good success. Had some real challenges, but I had a brand that grew and sustained itself for 12 years now, and it's still out there. I'm fortunate to have gotten in the industry early enough to where I have FDA predicate safe product,
Right.
which is a great thing. So
Yeah.
from where I sit, I mean, I feel like I got the best of all worlds. I mean, I've done the boutique thing as long as most guys out there. But then ultimately, at the end of a 10-year journey, I get to be the guy that sort of, is at the forefront of Cohiba going into the future.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
No,
And I
that's-
think what you're saying before, though, that actually lends a lot of credence to the brand and the selection of you to be the brand ambassador.
I hope.
Because that's the real stuff. Going out there and being a manufacturer, Ed and I, we have our own cigar. It is very difficult.
It is.
You know what I mean? And to be able to be recognized for that and then become brand ambassador, that shows that they're committed to that actual practice of bringing in real cigar guys that go down and dirty and really brought it up. Because that, just you could bring in any guy, you know, that they want with a face that's been in somebody else's family or something like that, and he could come in. But if they didn't do it like you did it, I think it's a good choice for brand ambassador for a cigar
appreciate
game.
it. Appreciate it. Again, it's my honor. And
I think it also shows a commitment by someone of the stature of General to not be afraid to broaden this line.
Well, that's the thing. I mean,
and the flavor attraction that you can bring, and the influence that you might be able to have in the development of brands, so that you're able to broaden Cohiba's own appeal to
well,
people.
let's kind of speak to that.
It,
As far as the flavor and the
Yeah.
appeal, the biggest thing that I found, myself included, is that a lot of people sleep on sort of the broad spectrum of what the Cohiba Red Dot has to offer, from the blue, which is something that's heavy as far as Honduran leaf, wrapper, binder,
Right.
filler, has some Ometepe from Nicaragua, some some Hamastron Valley from Honduras as well.
Right.
But it's pretty much a Honduran creation.
Yes.
Then you got the Cohiba Nicaragua, which is a Nicaraguan Puro, and
Right.
it's another profile. Of course, the classic Red Dot, which is really one of a couple cigars that has authentic, Congo Republic grown Cameroon.
Yeah.
So that's a very distinct profile. Then when you get to the black, I mean, it's Connecticut Broadleaf, which is a stout, smoky, deep, rich. So I mean, it's a nice sort of selection. And not even talking about the Macazar, which is something a little bit more nuanced, a little bit more decadent. But it's a nice variety within the portfolio. But most people, when they think about the Red Dot, they immediately think Cameroon.
Right.
Which I get it. I mean, most of what we sell still is the Cameroon.
Right.
But there's a nice variety, a nice mix, a nice profile mix, and in particular with the blue, a little bit wider range as far as price points as well,
Yes,
which
yes.
helps.
Yeah, I thought that was a big addition. For
now
price.
you've hit the sweet spot of the average man's price point with the Cohiba Blue, but you're not backing away from what you say about Cohiba as an ultra premium brand.
Yeah, I mean,
Right?
it's not for everybody, but
Right.
for people who want to experience something that I think is a little different. Again, I mean, Cameroon is the most expensive wrapper on the planet. Second most expensive is Connecticut Broadleaf, of which we have incredible selections of both.
Right.
So
right.
it's set apart. In the Nicaragua, that's more aggressively priced, so to speak, compared to the Red Dot and the Black, and it's all Nicaraguan Puro, the Colorado Squirrel wrapper. Three regions represented in the blend.
Right.
Stout,
Real
smoky,
nice spice too. It's completely different than the
So
Cameroon.
it's
a nice cigar.
It's not there's 300 million people plus in America. Not everybody's gonna like steak. Not everybody's gonna like chicken. There's variety. So we just hope that we offer something in the profiles, and hopefully the price points make sense.
I think you do.
Yeah.
I think you. I
try.
think this broadening of the Honduran and the Nicaraguan to join your Dominican base.
Yeah.
I think it's a good approach.
It's been working well. Blue's done exceptionally well. So hopefully, we continue.
Yeah. Well, how's it feel having the General tobacco available to you?
Frustrating.
Really?
No, listen, man. I mean, nobody has more tobacco than General.
Right.
But there's not as much out like as a boutique guy. I was always tinkering with something, putting special releases out, and whatever. And that's what I really enjoyed about it. And to have access to the variety and the quantities of tobacco that we have at General, and not really be able to crank out a cigar every week. It's kind of frustrating, to be honest. I mean, when I first went, we have a facility. I'm not going to tell you the number as far as the dollar value of the tobacco, but in Santiago, Dominican Republic, when you go, it's the size of a basketball gymnasium.
Wow.
Stacked to the ceiling tobacco. And then, in particular, the Cohiba Spectre, our facility in Licey is where I found the tobacco for that. They gave me the codes to figure out the dates and so forth of when the tobacco was baled. And I'm looking at this bale of tobacco, and I see these numbers, and I can't figure out, like, is it 1995? Is it 2005, 2015? And the guy's like, no, that's from 1995. I'm like, what? So I was like, we got to use that. So, I mean, it's just so much tobacco, So I'm glad we're able to put Spectre out. I'm really proud of Silencio which that's a great cigar. It marries sort of what I'm known for, historically, as far as Nicaraguan tobacco, with the Cameroon, which is what Cohiba's known for. So so that's going to be a great one as well. So yes, I'm excited about what we have coming out. I mean, but I'm a cigar guy, a cigar maker. I like to make a cigar every week, and there's enough tobacco to do it, but you can't. So,
you got your own little special ones you make.
But it's okay. It's okay.
It's good.
I'll take
Yeah,
it.
I mean, I can
Are
see
these
that
charged?
frustration.
Are
Yeah.
these- okay.
So, this is inside the humidor, and there's it's no holds barred. So, the Cuban name, from where you're standing right now, and its battle against Cuba. Can you fill us in on that, or is it something we can't really talk about?
It's something I can't really talk about because, honestly, the intricate legalities of it, I don't really know.
Right.
I know that we own the mark here in the States. And Cohiba isn't indifferent from a lot of other Cuban legacy brands.
No, yeah.
Once the embargo hit, a lot of companies just went about making sure that, those names were domestically available.
Right.
So legally, we're good here in the States.
Yeah,
That's all I can speak to.
Yeah.
And I can tell you this, one thing I really, really appreciate with the red dot is that it's not trying to be anything other than what it is.
Right.
Right? I mean, the name really is synonymous with tobacco historically, right? Not just cigars, I mean, just tobacco in general. And there's no confusion. You look at this and it's not knocking off someone's logo or anything, and you see that a lot, not just with the Cuban legacy name cigars, but you see that with other cigar brands that they sort of use. So I sort of like the way it stands alone, and the red dot is iconic in its own right, and I like that. So yeah.
No, and it's been a standard in this country now for, back in you've been doing this 12 years. The selection that we have nowadays compared to even like 12 years ago.
Oh man, this is.
We talked before. This is
cigar
golden
smoking
era.
today, yeah.
Cigar smoking today. And the boom in the 90s. I started smoking in the 90s. I'm sure you did too. And your selection, you thought you were going to a cigar shop and they had a few hundred boxes out. And you're like, oh man, this is crazy. There's so many things to choose from. But some of those brands you don't see anymore. That were only ones available, but this is one of them that it has always been, lasted through a couple booms.
I'm fortunate. I didn't have to smoke a lot of sucky cigars because I wasn't smoking cigars during the boom.
Oh, okay, yeah,
So
right.
I didn't start smoking cigars until the mini boom of the early mid-2000s.
Yeah.
Actually. So I mean, I've always been involved in the business as a consumer and a cigar maker during a time when it's really good stuff available.
Great stuff available all around.
Yeah.
I mean, probably the people out there that watch this get tired of hearing me say it, but I believe it that we're in a real golden age of cigar making.
Yeah.
We have great tobaccos, we have great blenders. I mean,
And there's so much
they're
stuff
like
from
master
around
chefs.
the world, man. This
Bring it all
tobacco here.
together.
So Cameroon wrapper, obviously, and the binder is Indonesian, but it's not Sumatra. It's Jimber, right?
Okay.
Which
I'm familiar with that.
which is a region that's a little bit more southeast from Sumatra.
Okay.
A little bit more coastal, so you got a little bit more moisture, a little bit more cool air, just different nuances. And were it not for the embargo, who knows if people would have gone to all these different places and grown tobacco. So it's great.
Right,
Even when we're talking here, I mean, the surge in Nicaraguan tobacco has been.
Forget about it. Yeah,
It's
man.
been huge.
Yeah.
In the last decade and a half.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't always the case. It was Dominican. Had its run, and it's still making great tobacco.
Yeah,
But Nicaraguans, you see right on the forefront. I see
And
Cohiba does it with the Pro.
I like the distinct profiles. I mean, there's no confusing Condega Nicaragua tobacco, Ometepe Nicaragua tobacco to Olor Dominicana or Piloto Cubano. There's no mistake in those. So I love the sort of distinct varieties you get and the nuances you get from the different soil.
And you really do. That's what we've tried to stress to our listeners here a lot is that the fields,
It's
the
like
regions you're in.
Wine is the closest thing I can think of that comes to it. Yeah.
The only thing a wine guy said when I was down in Nicaragua one time was he says, "Oh man, if I had to plant my crop again every year,
Yeah.
And Nick said to him, "Well, we do."
We do.
Yeah, and the one thing, when we're talking about with Nicaraguan tobacco, we're on, you can make you're saying using all Nicaraguan tobacco, Puro. that's all tobacco from the same country. But there's so many different. You can make so many different cigars from Nicaragua that all taste with all Nicaraguan tobacco. That all taste different. I think that's of the tobacco regions. I think that Nicaragua has the most diverse of the. You can change the profiles with using all their tobacco.
There's a lot.
I mean,
Dominican profile too, though.
Yeah,
isn't there?
There's, you get distinct differences. The thing about Nicaraguan tobacco is just inherently it's a fuller tobacco.
Yeah.
So the differences are bright. I mean, Condega. I mean, you're talking about that sort of full body, but it's more of a nutty, hazelnutty profile. You get to Ometepe, it's that sort of sweet, dark molasses sort of thing to it. Jalapa's going to be a little bit more nuanced, a little bit more caramel, but still full body. And Esteli gives you sort of that fire, man. It gives you that spice.
That spice.
So yeah. It's a great thing to sort of put all that stuff together, man. It really is. It really is.
We haven't even tried to grow tobacco in some of the other regions of Nicaragua, have we?
Well, I'm not saying that nobody is. I'm sure. As far as I know, I mean, we're not. So.
We're not. Yeah.
So, when you're not out being the brand ambassador for Cohiba or making cigars, what else you like to do, man? You into food? You like some fine spirits? What do you like?
Both. Yeah. I try not to eat as much when I'm at home because I eat pretty heavy on the road. I love food. I mean, I'm a steak guy. I'm a seafood. I like to experience food. I'm from New Orleans, so that's like food and music, and that's just part of what we do. So
favorite restaurant in New Orleans?
It's tough. You gotta give me a dish, man. I can't just say barbecue shrimp. I mean, I'm still Pascal Manales is still the one, or maybe Mr. B's. As far as the char grilled oysters, Drago is still number one. Second to that is probably Acme. If I want a steak, I'm a Ruth's Chris guy. There's nothing like having that filet coming to your table, sizzling in that butter. It doesn't mean you any good. It's not good,
Yeah.
but it's delicious. Po' boys. I mean, I got to go uptown on Magazine Street to Guys. Marvin's still doing his thing there. So it depends on the dish.
I've been to Guys.
Yeah.
So.
And that's the great thing about. I've only been in New Orleans once.
Wow.
One that had
the show.
The show.
Yeah.
And he someday, off air, he can tell you his experience in New Orleans once.
We drinking to that?
Not really.
Okay.
No,
I'm alive.
Yeah, we're thankful
Drink
he is
to life.
alive. Yeah. But that's one thing that impressed me was the variety of, and I didn't experience
food and culture in New
the
Orleans
food
is,
was
it's
just like
amazing.
everywhere.
So you're making a home in Atlanta now?
Atlanta's home, and obviously my family's there. So when I'm in Atlanta, I don't do a lot. I mean, I spend a lot of time at home. I coach my daughter's basketball team. Kind of relax, recharge my battery. I travel a lot, so when I'm home, I'm pretty boring.
Did you play hoops?
In high school.
High
Football
school?
was my sport, though, actually.
Football is?
Football in college, yeah.
Who'd you play for?
Grambling.
Yeah.
Oh, right on, man.
Yeah.
Defensive end.
Yeah.
so
Very
It's
good.
a lot of fun.
Oh, loved it, man.
Still meet up with the guys. You guys still have a camaraderie? Not really.
A couple times a year,
Yeah,
if I can make a couple of games, but I mean, I still travel a lot, so it's tricky.
Yeah.
I haven't been back to homecoming, man, in 10 years, but I promised myself I'll make it back this year, so hopefully I do.
Good. No, we'll be expecting Cohiba
That's awesome.
cigars.
Unless it's going to be the $30 cigar night that night for homecoming, then
You gonna miss it?
I'll be here. Right? I mean, come on now.
Well, we're getting ready for the show in July. These are what we got to look forward to. You're gonna drop this.
So
Spectre?
Spectre, as far as Cohiba, Spectre will be available at the show. It's going to be very, very limited, so I'm not sure how that's going to be allocated, but that's what's going to be new for Cohiba. But overall, I mean, General Cigar, I mean, last year was an incredible show with a number of new releases that did very well. Blue was sort of still new. Inspirado did great for Macanudo. So overall, our booth will be popping again, and I'll be there, doing my thing with Cohiba, and man, come by and smoke and hang out.
I don't know if they vote on that thing. Mark could probably lend to this, but I think of all the booths at IPCPR over the last 7-8 years that I've been doing it down there. They move you through the best and introduce you to the brands at the General, the best, bar none by any.
True.
They get an award for that. Best run booth. We're making a new award. It's called Best Run Booth.
Yeah, man.
I'll give it out on the show.
We'll call it the Stack Award.
Stack award for the best run booth.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I care about.
There you go. There you go.
As a retailer, it is important.
Your time is valuable, and,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of brands on the floor, and certainly General
That's
has
right.
a lot of brands too. So hopefully we're pretty efficient.
Yeah, efficient.
But
is the
when we
word.
sit down with Mark, he's able to take us around to the different brand areas within General.
Within it.
And have an expert on that brand to also add to our education of that.
I don't want to keep harping on it, but the General is doing the best job of when they have a large portfolio of separating each individual
That's
brand
right.
and making them unique from the other.
Right.
You know, when you have a portfolio where you have, how many
Pages,
brands do we have
pages.
at General?
I don't even know.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
I'm
but,
Cohiba.
right. There you
I
go.
got,
That's
I
the
got this
answer.
covered.
That's the answer,
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
You know, because
Right.
other companies can't do that. You're Cohiba. You're
Right.
putting a face to the brand.
Ricky
you know,
CAO.
Ricky CAO.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And now Jack Storani now. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
have
yeah.
a face with the brand. Or it's just in a giant portfolio and lost in something else. And it's all Mark's face.
Right. Well, that's all right.
Can't
good
put
looking,
burden-
though. He's
good
good
looking,
he's
but
good
I can't
looking.
put the burden of
Yeah.
all the brands on here.
Yeah, yeah.
He can handle like 10, 15.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Could Mark handle 10 or 15?
No, I can't. We're in the midst of Penguins playoffs. They got, I don't even know, the Atlanta Thrashers are still a team, huh?
They are, right? Aren't they?
I don't know why.
Oh!
Hey, the argument's here, man.
So you a Saints fan then?
Who that, baby?
All right,
Oh,
all
come
right. I
on,
like
man.
that.
Come on, come
like
on.
that.
Through and through. Yeah, yeah.
I can go with the
Only
Saints.
Atlanta team I root for is Atlanta United, the soccer team.
Okay, yeah, that's it's cool little MLS action. But New Orleans, I support them, in the football team because they had Ironhead on the team.
Oh, listen.
So if Ironhead's on the team, legendary Pittsburgher, and his son's on our team, and awesome. So
That's true. Yeah,
Cam.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
thanks,
like
Sean.
the Steelers,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
What about
Go Steelers?
Yeah.
What about your? Do you have a pick for the NBA Finals?
I'm unabashedly a LeBron fan.
Well, he's from Cleveland, so
Yeah, but I don't
Can't.
think I don't think they got a shot at the chip this year.
Oh,
I wish they did. I wish they did,
Yeah.
man. But
he's a great
you
player.
know, since Kevin Durant sold out
Yeah.
and jumped ship and went to the team that kicked his ass out of the finals after being down 3-1.
So
Yeah.
Golden State
Golden
again.
State is pretty stacked.
You heard,
so.
you heard it here
I know
first.
Houston may be for real though.
I think Houston's
I think
for
you know James Harden has shown a proclivity to melt down in the postseason from time to time. But if he stands up and Chris Paul stays
Chris
healthy,
Paul there, yeah.
yeah, because Chris Paul he gets hurt a lot in the postseason. But if they stay the course, they can knock off Golden State. They're legit. So we'll see.
So we're going with the West. I
Yeah.
don't blame him for going with the West because the East pretty much is LeBron James. And then Philly's playing okay though.
Yeah,
lately.
No,
I
they're
don't-
good. They're
I don't know
good.
what happened with them.
I don't understand why Pittsburgh never had a pro basketball
We
team.
had some basketball team like back in the
ABA days or something?
Yeah, like I forget their name. What was their name?
The Condors,
That's the worst name
like the
ever.
big birds from California.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Condor. Hasn't been a condor in Pittsburgh. I don't even think they have it at the zoo.
Yeah. That's the only place they have in the aviary.
The fish that saved Pittsburgh with Dr. J.
Yeah.
Yes, and Seth Shot Buford and the Moody Twins. I remember that movie. yeah. This is a great sports town. You guys should
Yes.
have an NBA team.
We probably
We should
know,
start an
talked
investment
about it.
group.
All right, we'll get an NBA team.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Let's
Start it here.
Start it right here. Start it right here. I got like $27 on it. Fred Brandyberry.
I got 50.
Special guest Sean Williams. I'm Josh Eagle. Get out there and burn one.